Hi guys, welcome back to Intellectual Literature. This is Gauri. Today we are going to talk about James Joyce, a portrait of the artist as a young man. I have already posted the Tamil version of this video. If you really need that, kindly watch it. Let's go to this novel. First we see summary, scene by scene explanation, then themes, then author's description. Before that, kindly subscribe my channel. Let's go. The genre of this novel was Bildungsroman, that means coming of age novel. It shows a character's journey from innocence to experience, also called mentally mature level. Focus on the psychological, moral and intellectual growth of the protagonist Stephen D. Dellers from childhood to adulthood. So, now talk about scene by scene explanation. Scene 1, Stephen as a baby. The novel begins when Stephen is a very little child, an infant. His father tells him a fairy tale. Stephen is listening to his father's fairy tale and his thoughts move freely between simple sensory memories such as his mother's smell, his governess Dante's brushes, a candy seller, his neighbor alien Vance. Stephen says he wants to marry Alien. Adults scold him because Alien is a Protestant. This opening scene shows a child's mind works and also introduces religious tension when Stephen is scolded for saying he wants to marry Alien, a Protestant girl. So, now next we talk about at Clongowes Woods College. Stephen attends Clongowes Woods College, a strict Catholic boarding school. Initially, he feels lonely and homesick. He struggles to fit it with the other boys. Other boys tease him. He falls sick and stays in the hospital, which increases his sense of isolation, but later adjusts. Christmas holidays came. During the Christmas holidays, he went to home. At home, Stephen listens silently as the adults in his family argue harshly over Charles Stewart Parnell, an Irish leader. Dante supports his church. Stephen is confused and frightened, revealing to him for the first time how religion and politics can divide even lovely families too. Scene 4, The Injustice at School. A teacher unjustly beats Stephen after his glasses are broken, but he gathers the courage and complains to the rector, who supports him. This incident boosts Stephen's self-confidence and sense of justice. This incident earns him the respect of his classmates and marks an important growth in his self-confidence and sense of justice. As Stephen grows into adolescence, his emotional and physical desires awaken. Stephen spends a summer in Blackrock reading adventure stories, The Count of Monte Cristo, and roaming the streets. He develops romantic feelings for the Emma Clary and writes her a love poem. Scene 5, Growing Desires. Stephen grows into a teenager. He feels sexual desire for the first time. He visits a prostitute and feels pleasure. This experience that brings him pleasure but also deep guilt. Scene 6, Belvedere College. That guilt intensifies Stephen after he hears powerful sermons on sin and hell that was delivered by Jewish priest. Stephen attends Belvedere College, a Jewish school. At school, priestess gives sermons about hell. Stephen, terrified by the fear of eternal punishment, he feels very guilty for his sins. Stephen turns intensively religious, attending Mass daily, confessing frequently, fasting, and practicing self-denial. That gains Stephen recognition for writing, acting. Participants in the student theatre, known for his being serious, disciplined, and studious. Scene 7, Offer of Priesthood. His devotion becomes so extreme that a Jewish priest suggests Stephen become a priest. Stephen thinks deeply. Stephen soon realizes that a priest life would be restrictive, joyless, and hostile to his imagination. Priest life is boring. It will kill his freedom. And he firmly rejects the religious vocation. A major turning point occurs when Stephen sees a beautiful girl standing in the sea. Instead of feeling sinful desire or guilt, he experiences a moment of pure joy and atheistic delight. This vision makes him understand that beauty itself is holy, a scared one, and that his true calling lies in art rather than religion. Stephen discovers that art and writing are his true calling. He resolves not to be bound by family, nation, or religion. He comes to believe that an artist must remain independent and free from the controlling forces of family, nation, and religion. Stephen decides to dedicate himself to becoming a writer and begins to develop his own atheistic theory, influenced by Aristotle and Aquinas. Writes another poem for Emma Clary. Scene 9. Stephen studies art and philosophy. He creates his own theory of art. Scene 10. Stephen argues with friends about art, religion, Ireland. He feels different from others. He writes poems and stories. And final section, scene 11. Stephen written in the form of diary entries. Stephen records his thoughts with confidence and excitement as he prepares to leave Ireland to fulfill his destiny as a writer. He wants to become a great writer, like his mythical namesake Daedalus, who built wings to escape imprisonment. Stephen resolves to fly above all limitations. He wants to fly with his own wings and seek artistic freedom through exile, marking his final transformation into a self-aware artist. Now, see the mythical symbolism. Stephen's name reflects Daedalus, the Greek craftsman. Like Daedalus, Stephen hopes to build wings, escape social, religion, and national constraints. Daedalus symbolizes wisdom, creativity, artistic freedom. Some of the autobiographical elements are there. Like Stephen Daedalus, James Joyce studied at Clongowes Woods College, Belvedere College, University College Dublin. Joyce published literary reviews, poems, plays. Earlier versions of the novel were titled Stephen Hero, Portrait of the Artist. Major characters: Stephen Daedalus, protagonist; Simon Daedalus, his father; Mary Daedalus, his mother; Dante, governess; Ellen Vance, neighbor, a Protestant girl; Charles Stewart Parnell, Irish nationalist leader; Uncle Charles Harbury, Emma Clary. Some of the themes I mentioned here: growth and self realization, conflict between religion and individuality, art as freedom, Irish nationalism, identity and exile. So, next we talk about James Joyce biography. James Augustine Aloysius Joy was the full name of James Joy. He lived from 1882 to 1941. He was an Irish novelist, poet, and literary critic, widely regarded as one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. He is best known for his innovative narrative techniques, especially stream of consciousness. I mentioned here some of his major works only. We already seen A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. It was published on 1916. Ulysses, it was published on 1922. Finnegan's Wake, it was published on 1939. Exiles, it is a play. It was published on 1918. Dubliners, it was published on 1914. Chamber Music, Stephen Hero, The Dead. So now we ended this novel. The movie is already there. You go and watch that movie, and after you watch that movie, you return this video, you watch again this video. That will helpful you to learn easily. Okay, now end of this video. If you really like this video, click the like button and share with your friends who really want this video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. This is Gauri from Intellectual Literature. Tata, bye bye. Thank you.